We're back with Tiny Truck Talk. We have Chandis Williams here, CW. He is the main man of No Rush Racing. Chandis, tell us a bit about yourself, what you like to do, and your participation in the truck community around town.
I'm retired. Work part-time, 4 days a week, just retired stuff. Got into the mini truck scene about 3 years ago, and it's kind of like a drug addiction. I've piddled around and made a couple parts that actually have done well on the internet, through social media, and that's where I'm at today. No Rush Racing.
No Rush Racing.
Yeah.
Tell us, what exactly do you make? What do you sell? You've been filling needs for the tiny truck community for a while now.
Yes. First of all, I sell these T-shirts, which don't sell very much of, but they're $20 a piece. So
they glow in the dark.
They do glow in the dark. Got white and black ones. I sell. My main part is an engine porthole for this little truck, and the thing, how this happened was I thought, hey man, this is how you service the truck. It'd be cool if you could just see your motor, even though there's not a lot of horsepower. It's not a Ferrari. I just thought it would be cool to show the motor off. So I got a piece of Lexan cut, made a template, had the Lexan cut, found a nice rubber seal to go around it, and put it on my truck. And it was very prehistoric made, as I say. It's like a caveman made it. And I've got that one hanging on my wall. It's first gen, but everybody loved it. I mean, everybody loved it. And I told myself I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't going to make things. I wasn't going to get into that craziness. So when it got out on the internet, on the social media, the web and everything, I had people just texting me and calling me and texting me to get them. And I said, I don't make them. So I was
famous last words.
Famous last words. So I was up in Townsend, Tennessee, at the Great Smoky Mountain Small Bore Rally. And my friend Greg Tyler and I, which we'll talk about later, had our trucks up there. And the Small Bore Rally was situated right across the street from where we were staying, so you could see the trucks. And a lot of people came from the Small Bore Rally to talk to us about the trucks. And I remember this guy's kid saying, hey, Dad, this is the guy. He's got the clear porthole. So he came over. His name's Chris Laser, which I'm very good friends with now. And Chris said, hey man, I'd really like to have one of these. I said, Chris, I don't make these. I just don't, I'm not going to do that.
It's not for sale.
Not for sale.
Can't have one.
So, got home a couple months later. I decided, I'm going to make a Gen 2 porthole, and make it a little bit better, a little bit nicer, learn from the first one. So as I was making it, I put 2 big scratches on that Lexan. I thought, yeah, that sucks. So thought about it, and it was already all done. It was beautiful, but it just had 2 scratches on it. So I called Chris, texted Chris Laser, and I said, hey man, I got this very first Gen 2 porthole. It's got a couple scratches on it. Sent him pictures of it, and I said, I'll sell it to you. So I sold it to him. He wanted it. He was loving it. So I give Chris Laser all the credit for this thing going crazy, because he put it on his truck. And
everybody had to have one.
Everybody had to have one.
Now you're making them. Now you're distributing them.
The day that it hit his website, his Facebook channel, I had 34 requests for that porthole.
And now the ball's rolling.
Now the ball is rolling.
And now No Rush Racing is a thing.
Is a thing, yes, it is. Since then, I've made a couple brackets for cargo lights. I'm kind of the guy that doesn't like to drill holes in things, don't like to cut things off of your stock stuff. So I try to make things that you can bolt on to what the factory has on there, that you can add something really cool. Like, I don't know if you can see it. You'll probably see pictures of it. I took a Ruckus headlight, a Honda Ruckus scooter headlight,
okay,
and made a bracket that will bolt onto the factory bracket on the headache bar to put the Ruckus headlights as cargo lights. Yeah, very bright, very, very bright in the back, but it does look cool. And if you're a Honda guy, if you're any kind of Honda guy, and you're standing around at Cars and Coffee or at a show or something, you can see, oh, that's what that is. That's a Ruckus headlight right there. So, it's kind of a Honda thing.
I've never owned an Acti truck where that light actually functions. So to have one that actually works and
Oh,
to be
yeah.
extra bright would be very cool.
Yeah, it's all plug and play.
Nice.
Bolt on, plug and play. Hit your little button in the cab. There it goes.
You can't have too much light when you're trying to check out what's in the back of the truck at night
That's right.
anyways.
Especially with tinted windows.
Does that thing just come on when you put it in reverse? Is there a switch inside the
No,
cab?
I didn't do it. I didn't do it for a reverse light. I thought about that. Thought about putting red halos around it and have blinkers and stop lights and all that stuff. But you know that gets into that's when your mechanic friends really start not liking you.
Oh yeah.
You know. So
Like,
when you
what did you do in here?
what did I do in here?
No, that's when they start asking you.
Oh,
What did you do?
well, no, they say you want what? And I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. You want what? You know, it gets kind of tedious. So there's not a lot of holes in the truck to run wires from the cab to the back. So
Yeah,
it's
I can
kind of,
imagine.
you know, I don't want to drill any holes in it if I can help.
Oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Let's see, what else do I make? I make a plug and play catalytic converter, high flow catalytic converter. I don't make it. I have it made, but the guy that makes it used my truck as a template.
Yeah.
He can also make a header. He's really good at doing headers and stuff. He does a lot of stuff for the Honda Fit. His name's Ethan Atkins, and his company is Unequal Fabrication.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. What else do I make? I make all kinds of little stickers for the truck. Spoilers. I make a headache bar spoiler because I like my headache bar. Some guys don't like their headache bars, so they take the headache bar off and they put the JDM K truck spoiler on the back of
Yeah.
it. Well, I wanted one of those, but I didn't want to lose my headache bar, so I got me a piece of cardboard, made a template, and if you can see it, I don't know if you can, but we'll show pictures of it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a full walk
yeah.
around in Chandis's truck, show you all the things that he's done and he's made with them. I think the see-through cover in the back's actually very useful for practical purposes. I can't tell you how many times I've been working on one truck and forgot where one of the mini vacuum lines were routed, where they were ran, and then I go take my other one apart. And I'm like, there it is, it goes from A to B. So it could be very useful just to have that there for reference purposes too.
Yeah, yeah.
Besides showing off the goods.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually pretty tough. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
It does scratch. You can stand on it. I'm 200 pounds. I can stand on it, and it won't crack or break. Where like plexiglass will crack and break.
Yeah.
Lexan's pretty tough. So it would take. It's not bulletproof, but it's almost bulletproof. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I see how you have the Lexan panel, and then when you look through it, it has that factory black trimming
Yes.
underneath the Lexan. So it's not just this raw cut piece of Lexan. It's very nicely made. And so you have your Lexan, and then the interior of it has this really nice OEM looking black insert to it. What is that?
I take a template, turn it over, and I sand it down real good, rough it up, and then I paint it with like 2 or 3 coats of black paint. So when you turn it over, whatever paint you can use flat black paint. It's shiny, and what I did that for was to cover the white rain gutter.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want the rain gutter showing. It was kind of crazy, but and then it comes with a really nice factory-looking gasket that goes around. It's not completely waterproof, but I don't think the factory one is either.
It's not.
So that's why they have the rain gutter there.
I don't know if it's not factory waterproof or if they're all factory 30 years old, dry rotted, and just completely done.
Mine's in pretty good shape. I've got it hanging on the wall in one of my bedrooms at the house, so
Nice.
it's in pretty good shape.
Well, good stuff, man. Tell us about some of the activities that Queen City Mini Trucks put on, things that you participate in, and maybe like some future plans, shows, things that you'd like to do.
Cards and coffee is a big thing. We started off at Cards and Coffee. I got a good
Really?
story. Yeah, I got a good story about that. The first time that I had this little truck out to where I thought I'd be able to take it to Cards and Coffee, I had built this custom ruckus. Me and my buddy Richie Mancinelli had built this custom ruckus from this brain.
So you're in the ruckus game too.
yeah.
Do you own a ruckus?
I own 3 ruckuses.
What?
Yes.
All right.
So I've got my little truck. It's all cleaned up. And, it's all spit shined, and I got my little ruckus in the back of it, and I'm so proud of that thing, man. I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna get to this Cars and Coffee. I'm gonna be the man. Little ruckus, little truck. Everybody's gonna love it. Well, we all met up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. It was cold, so I really didn't get out of the truck. And my girlfriend got out and was walking around looking at the little vans and the other little trucks. And she gets back in and she says, "Hey, there's another guy with a scooter in his truck." I'm like,
You're
no.
like, first of all, baby, it's a ruckus, not a scooter.
Well, she said scooter, so I thought, okay, maybe he's got a whatever, a VIP scooter or something stupid in his back.
Razor in the back.
Yeah, exactly. So we get there, and this is how I met Greg Tyler. Greg Tyler has this very nice custom Honda PCX scooter 150 motor conversion in his Ruckus. It's very beautiful. I mean,
so that thing screams too.
It screams. It's long and low. He's got powder coated like neon green wheels. It's beautiful. He did it right. He did it right. And that's the first time I met Greg. Stole my thunder because nobody wanted to see my little Ruckus. They wanted to see this PCX Ruckus, which we laugh about it now, but that's how I became friends with Greg. And Greg, I've had my truck for almost 3 years. He had one 5 years before I did. So he had gone through everything that I was starting to begin to go through.
How long have you had your little truck?
Almost 3 years.
And so that means he's had his for 8 years already.
Yes.
What year is his?
His
Is it the round headlights or is it
no,
the next?
no, it's
the next
it's
one up?
like mine, but
Okay.
it was a town. It was a town model.
What's that mean?
Brown interior. It has a RPM gauge in the dash instead of just a speedometer.
Yeah.
Had a couple different little options.
Is it still a 5-speed?
Still a 5-speed.
Okay.
Yep. And his motto was drive it till it don't drive anymore. He takes it everywhere, and I mean full speed. So Greg kind of influenced me in a good way because he's had some people say he's a bad influence to drive the truck anywhere I want to go. And I've driven it to Townsend, Tennessee, which is 5 hours away, Asheville, the beach,
Is it
Virginia.
actually 5 hours or is it 5 active truck hours?
It's 5 active truck hours.
Okay.
It's really like a 4-hour drive, but in an active, you're just going to add on another hour or so. But he also said, hey man, get it on the highway, put it in the slow lane, and run it 60 miles an hour, and nobody's going to mess with you. And he's right. No state troopers mess with me. No law enforcement at all has stopped me with that truck on the highway going 60. His little business is slow lane racing, so that's where he got that from.
Okay.
You put it in the slow lane and get on down the road. So when I go to Townsend, Tennessee or Asheville or someplace, I put it on the highway, put it in the slow lane and run 55, 60 miles an hour. Seems like everybody enjoys it on the highway, like it's some kind of entertainment.
For the most part, everyone is very entertained.
And the girls,
All the girls love it.
they try to throw their panties in it.
It's the panty catcher. Me and my buddy
It's
used to make the
crazy.
joke that these little trucks save lives and marriages, right? Because you could be going
Yeah.
down the road, man,
Yeah.
and people would be looking ill. And then they see these little trucks and they would just light up and start giving
Matter of
them
fact, on the
thumbs
way
up.
over here, this girl pulled her panties out and shot it like a slingshot, and she missed it, but she tried.
It's some poor old lady right behind him, right in the
Yeah.
face, panties
Yep.
everywhere.
Yep. You wouldn't think that from a little truck like this, but it does get a lot of attention.
Well, if what they say about guys in big trucks stand, then us in the little bitty trucks are doing okay for ourselves.
Yes.
That's right.
Now, the Queen City thing, there's probably Rusty Bouchard is he is the leader of this group. And I think the last time I asked him, he said there were 60 or 70 members, and about half of them had K trucks or vans. So it's quite a few.
So-
Every time we have a little gathering, we have 10 to 15 trucks show up.
Is this just the small Japanese trucks, or does this go for the very low, like Isuzus and S10s and stuff like that too? Like old school lowrider trucks? Do you have any of those in the group?
No, it's all just the K truck.
Okay.
It's all K truck. So now some guys brought in some of the bigger Japanese imports that were right hand drive.
I
and,
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
look like a little truck, but they're a little bigger.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just basically for the minis, the Japanese mini trucks.
Man, I've learned it's very, very important online that you make the difference between mini truck and Japanese mini truck.
Right.
Because the mini trucker guys are not a fan of us calling these trucks mini trucks.
Yeah, I get it.
I've found that one out.
We did a Matthews takeover in June, and I thought we'd have maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 trucks show up. We had 15 trucks, and Greg Greg Tyler, rode his custom ruckus all the way from Krause, North Carolina to Matthews.
How far of a commute is that?
It's an hour for me to drive there, an hour on a ruckus.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Dedicated.
So, he is dedicated. Yeah, he is very dedicated.
He's living the life.
He is living the life, yes. Yes. You need to get him on here.
Oh, I'd love to have him.
Yeah, you need to get him on here.
We'll give him a shout after this airs and see if he has interest in coming on. If he wants to follow Chandis. You know, that's a tough act to follow.
I don't know about that.
It may be a tough act to follow.
I don't know about that. But anyway.
So you guys have held some events. I've even seen some beer cans with little trucks on them on y'all's page, or I've seen you advertising it.
No, I'm not advertising it. Rusty Bouchard is friends with the guy that owns Triple C Brewing up in Charlotte.
Okay.
And it's kind of over on the back side, the real cool side of Charlotte, kind of the back side of the Panther Stadium over in that area. And this guy, his brewery, his little mascot is a little mini truck. I think it's a Suzuki, maybe.
So it was already that way.
It was already that way, Dan.
Okay.
And they got to, I think the brewery guy, I don't know his name, sorry, but the brewery guy reached out to Rusty and said, hey, listen, man, we brew beers here. I want to do a Japanese rice lager. And it's actually pretty good beer. It's a little expensive on the expensive side, but it's good beer.
The craft beers are not cheap in the first place.
Right.
So.
And so that was we had a meet and greet there, and I think we had like 30 trucks, 25, 30
wow.
trucks. It was a lot of trucks. So yeah, that's how that comes about. The little he's done it twice. He did it the first time, and then he did another brew, I think in June or July.
Are these limited time brews, or are they available all season?
No, they're not available all season. No, he might cook up a couple, pallets of the beer, but when it's gone for a while. So he doesn't continuously make it.
So it's just every couple of months you got to keep your eye out for it. If you love it, you got to stay on the hunt for it.
Triple C, the Triple C website probably will tell you when they're going to have it.
To be honest with you, those are some of my favorite beers. Is you can't have them all the time.
I should have brought one to you.
You should have brought one to me. I have a favorite beer that I'm not going to get into, but it comes out once a year, and when it does, I hoard them. I go buy them out.
Does it say pumpkin spice on it?
I'm kind of a lady. I love the pumpkin spices. I love juicy sweatpants. I love it all. I love live, love, laugh posters all over. You should see my house, dude.
Right.
It's pumpkin spice everywhere.
Good.
It's that time of year.
I kind of smell pumpkin spice.
That's
in
my
here.
deodorant.
Oh.
That's my deodorant.
Okay. Okay. What else, man? What else?
So you make your line of products. Is there anything that you have in your head that you see coming in the future? Is there anything that you'd like to see someone make that's unavailable that you don't have any interest in making?
I really don't. On my truck, I need to mention these guys because there's a little community. When I first became a mini truck guy, there was just a little community of people that made things, and they're kind of like me. They have a job, and in the afternoons or after work, they piddle with this stuff. And one of them is Nick Odd Designs. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I'm not.
Nick Odd Designs. He's in New York, and he makes cup holders. He makes little tie down, like all the little bolts. Every bolt on the back of that cab and the bed, he makes a thing that you can bolt onto it and put a hook in it.
Oh, cool. So you can actually run the net and the tie-down straps across it?
Yes, he makes all that kind of cool stuff. And it's funny, man, because he was making these cup holders, and I bought one, and I said, hey, man, this cup holder's great. And it fits down, where you can reach down near the shifter and get it. I said, it doesn't hold my Yeti cup. And I'm a big Yeti guy.
Make it bigger.
Yep. So I said, hey, can you make one bigger? So he's over the years, he's already up to, I've got double D's in here. That's what they call them, double D's. Two of them, one for the passenger, one for me, and they'll fit a Yeti, big Yeti, little Yeti, whatever. So Nick Odd Designs, I got his exhaust on my truck.
Is he local?
No, he's in New York.
He's in New York, okay.
But he's online. I mean, you just type in Nick Odd Designs. I've got an Easy Key. He's in Las Vegas. I got his strut tower bar that goes across underneath the seats. which stiffens the truck up very much. I got gas suspension on it, so I wanted to make it handle really good, and it does. It handles really good. It's a little rough in town, but when you take it up to the mountains or wherever, it just rides like it's supposed to ride, like it's on a track.
Suspension is always give and take, man.
Oh yeah, yep. You gotta give. Well, I'm an older guy, so sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna drive it this week, but I'll drive it on the weekend. And then I remember, man, this thing's rough. I won't drive it during the week, or I'll drive it during the week and not the weekend. Whatever.
Oh yeah.
But
it's your fun mobile.
It is a fun mobile. Going back to Greg Tyler, he has assisted me with putting the Civic brake rotors on and the calipers, the gas suspension.
How do the Civic calipers perform with the stock, like proportioning valve, the booster, the stock size lines, things like that? Like, I'm curious.
Great.
So it has the oomph.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You can tell the difference.
That's just a direct bolt on.
Direct bolt. Well, it's not direct bolt on. You have to cut a couple. Things on the dust cover, which is no big deal.
Yeah.
And you got to do a couple little things. Not bad. Anybody with a little bit of knowledge can get by and do it. And then I took it to Hardis Automotive. Brad Hardis is a friend of mine up here in Indian Trail. And he, because it's hard to get these trucks aligned if you can't find an alignment shop that has Honda Acti in their computer. Because, today there's no true mechanical, old school alignment people. Very few around.
Besides that, they're so narrow to try to get on absolutely anything.
Brad is an old hot rodder guy that I've known since we were kids. We used to hot rod around together. And he does it the old school hot rod way. And he does a great job, and I've sent him a couple trucks and a little bit of business. So he does a great job. So if you're around this area and you can get over there and you need your truck aligned, I would recommend Hardis Automotive.
All right.
Unless you align trucks.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
All right. So Hardis Automotive, Brad Hardis.
I just piddle here with my own things.
And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed that I've actually been invited to the Chris Kirby Secret Man Bat Cave.
It's all about being more Batman-like every day.
To see
Playboy, billionaire, philanthropist, ninja.
To see all the cool stuff that I've seen on YouTube. I feel pretty honored.
Dude, Chandis is a really cool guy. He showed up at my shop one day and introduced himself and just started showing me all the stuff he had done to his truck. And I was extremely impressed with that. And the fact that he's able to reproduce the things that he's created now was very impressive. So he's a chill dude, but don't let him sell himself short. He's got skills. He's got the goods. He sells parts. He makes the parts. Chandis is the man.
I'm just a problem solver, man. That's all.
It's just a problem solver in nature. Yeah. In nature?
And you know what? Greg Tyler. He's the one.
I feel like we're talking about Tyler Dirt.
He's the one that said, hey, you need to go down and introduce yourself to this guy, Chris Kirby, at Best Damn Powder Coating. So I'm like, man, it's right down the street. So
come on.
There, I'll do it. I'm not afraid. You afraid?
Man, you can't really be afraid.
No.
When you're cutting these stupid little trucks up.
No.
Like, is it going to go back together? I don't know.
Maybe.
One of these years.
Yep.
Chandis has come along and he has provided see-through cover, the wing, the duck bill, wing for the top of it.
Yeah, I've got two of those. I got two spoilers for the back. I've got a ST and a GT headache bar spoiler and tailgate spoiler. It's when you're on camera, you can't remember what you made.
Tell me about it. I like the fact that he's doing an OEM plus style where he is using factory locations to bolt and mount these things too. I love the idea of not having to drill fresh holes in your little truck. The purists love it. So he's accomplished a lot just doing that.
Also have a No Rush Racing high flow catalytic converter plug and play, because I was on my way up to the small bore rally, and the guy behind me said, hey man, your truck smells like rotten eggs. I said, what?
The smell of sulfur.
Yep, rotten eggs. And I thought, well, okay.
We all know what that means.
Yep, so I kept driving it, drove fine, drove it up there, rode around all weekend, drove it home, and then about 2 days later, I lost about half the power and it wouldn't accelerate.
Half the power on that little truck is all
terrible.
The power.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
So I went home and knocked the catalytic converter out, because that's what every good redneck does. Just knock the
Good
catalytic.
at baby.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to pass emissions.
And it sounds like I was 16 years old and I cut the muffler off my Civic.
It was a clapped out
Terrible.
situation.
Terrible.
He lowered the back about that much, raised the front up about that much.
No, I didn't do anything like that. But I was not happy with the fact that how it sounded, because it sounded so good with Nick Odd Designs exhaust on it that I had to find a solution. So Greg Tyler, he said, hey, there's a guy down in Lancaster, Unequal Fabrication. He makes exhaust and stuff for Fitz.
Is it effectively just a test pipe?
This one?
Well, the product we're talking about.
No. It's not. No, it's actually got a Flowmaster high flow catalytic converter. It's about this big.
Okay.
And he took mine off and measured it. He's an engineering and welding guy, so he's good. And he made a template for mine. He made mine pretty much with all the little pie cuts in it.
Yep.
So it's really cool looking. But the ones that I sell, he made a template, so it's just a pipe, catalytic converter, and another pipe, and then the big flange, big thick flange. And we'll show pictures of that. And when your barbecue light comes on, that's what I call it. When your barbecue light comes on in your truck and you lose all power, you buy one of these, you take your catalytic converter off and throw it in the garbage, and you just plug and play mine in there and crank it up and go on about your business.
It's very nice to have that option in the States. A lot of times when parts go bad, you have to try to source them from someone in the U.S. if you're trying to find the factory ones, and the markup on those parts are ridiculous. Or you actually have to buy them from somewhere in Japan on eBay, and then you have the wait time of buying something from Japan on eBay and waiting for it to get to you. So the more parts like this that American manufacturers can actually provide us is just a huge win for the Acti truck community.
And another thing, the Honda one, the factory one, you can't clean. Some people can clean them if they get clogged. But this one, if for some reason it gets clogged, you can actually clean it. Take it off, clean it, and put it back on.
Oh, that's nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, I think that about does it for our time today. I want to thank Chandis for showing up, doing the podcast with us. He very knowledgeable, has his own product line out, knows lots of people in the community, and we hope to meet and talk to more of you in the future. Say something, Chandis.
Something.
Something. My man. Tiny Truck Talk. Till the next one. Thanks, guys.